think you're getting caught?
Yep.
That's why. I hired you. We're talking a Sherrone Moore case. I hired you. Now I just doubled your salary. You know you shouldn't have your salary doubled, but I'm looking after you. You gonna stay loyal to me and keep this little secret because of the money now that you've been paid. And I'm sure he was buying her gifts. He was giving her little money here and there, probably sliding her 5-10 grand. Christmas coming up, he probably was gonna slide her whatever, buy her a car. I don't know, because I done seen people buy cars. Wow. And so, like buy cars, $100,000 cars.
Correct.
What? And it's like, it's undefeated, man. It's, damn, was it really worth it? Hell no, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Not over that. But when you nice looking and you've had your pick of the litter your entire life, and that type of shit don't move you, man.
Is Sherrone Moore done?
Done.
Done?
Stick a fork in him.
Done.
Death row. Done.
Now, here, how can y'all say this though? When you saw, I think Kendall Briles just got the offensive coordinating job at South Carolina. Art just got a job at some lower level school.
Hello and welcome to another Who You Got Live video. I'm Sun-EB7 and thank you for watching. This round 2, I did a whole 15 minutes and no sound. But I was determined to do this. You know what I'm saying? This is important. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about Sherrone Moore today. And I know every single person that has a channel is covering that. I get it. But I've watched several, and I've learned something from every one of them. Not one of them, you know, sound exactly like the other. There's different opinions. There's different viewpoints. There's more information. So I did watch that, and I got a lot of the information. I was on it when it first broke, but I didn't want to come out right away. I wanted to see what was this all about, because it just seemed like it had some little extra to it. So I got what I asked for. So I'm gonna start this video. Now you saw what Hushmanzada said. You know, I gave you a little snippet of that. You want to see the whole video? The link is in the description. I'm gonna read. I was going through. I was trolling. I didn't troll, but I looked at the trolls. Whatever. I seen somebody write something, and I thought it was interesting, and so I'm gonna read it to you. And as I read it to you, I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna peel back the layers on it because I thought it was very interesting. So it goes like this. When we're talking about the video, this is pertaining to what happened with Sherrone Moore. And you know, Shannon Sharp and NIGHTCAP, they covered it, and First Take covered it, and Fourth and One covered it. You know, I mean, everybody. So here's what it said. Shannon Sharp's empathy is expected. Sherrone shouldn't invest in stocks because he lacks the knowledge of trade value. The incident itself is common, but the reaction of the guilty remains the same. Sherrone didn't just ruin his life and legacy. He failed an entire city, state, and community. Well done. So, you can let me know what you think in the comments of that if you want. But I thought pretty highly of it. That's why I read it. The first thing I'm going to delve into on this is Shannon Sharp's empathy. Anybody remember what Shannon Sharp sounded like before he got into it? He wasn't wrong. He was supposed to sound like that because he felt that way. Now you'd say, well, he was doing it at the same time. Why did he feel that way? Because he felt just like this dude. He felt like he wasn't going to get caught. He felt like he could trust her. Well, he found out something different. So his empathy is expected. I'm not saying he should be, but it's expected. So that was that's good. Sherrone shouldn't invest in stocks because he lacked the knowledge of trade value. what it's talking about there is he's got a wife and kids. He got 3 beautiful kids, and a beautiful wife. He's got $5-6 million a year, and he's the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. He's the first and only black coach to ever coach the Michigan Wolverines. And he traded that in for the little blonde chick that worked there. Okay. Trade value. Anybody can look at that and tell that wasn't a good trade. Well, anyway, it said the incident itself was common. Yeah, there's cheaters all over the world, right? People cheat all the time. Sometimes it ain't even cheating. They got an agreement. It might be an open relationship. We don't know. But the reaction of the guilty is the same. They want empathy. They want people to understand what they're going through. And it's nice when you want somebody to understand what you're going through that you caused. You know, Hurricane Katrina didn't come through and blow your house down. You went out and decided you're going to get a little extra and got caught. But you still want people to understand what you're going through. Houshmandzadeh, he went in on this. 2 people, Houshmandzadeh and Ryan Clark, they had 2 different perspectives about it. They were the same, but they were 2 different perspectives. One was on the professional side and what you should tell young people. And the other one was on the guy side and what you'll say if your friends get caught in something like this. And they're good. They're very good. That's what I was saying. I watch these different channels and see how they dispersed it, parsed it, I should say. And I got my viewpoint from what all I gathered, right? And so the guilty stays. They say the same. They want empathy for what they're going through. Because the first thing a person that does something silly, what he wants is you to understand him. Because accountability, what the hell is that? Making good choices, accountability, figuring out what you should and shouldn't be doing. Who the hell doing that? Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. He didn't just ruin his life and legacy. He ruined a city, a state, and a community. The community is the black community. Ryan Clark wasn't wrong. The next time a black person, I know Marcellus Wiley went in and he didn't like it, and there's a bunch of them. And I'll get into that in a second. But look, they just had this experience with Sherrone Moore. Now another black dude go up there and want to interview for the coach. What you think they're going to say? They're not going to tell him. But he ain't getting the job. You was sitting there. All you had to do was do your job. Win. Make yourself a name. Move on to a bigger job. Go to NFL and be a coach. And have somebody follow you. It may not be another black coach. But black coaches get jobs all... Okay, I'm going to give you an example. People probably not going to like this. How many black coaches, ex-football players, been hired for coaching since Deion got the job? So Deion goes to Jackson State. Everybody want to see what happens because Florida State said no and a couple other colleges. So he couldn't get the job. So Jackson State opened it up. He came there and he brought Jackson State into prominence. I know because Jackson State used to play Tennessee State at the Southern Hospitality Bowl every year. I used to go to it, right? So fly down there and hang out. All right. Deion brings him to prominence. He gets the job. Colorado gives him an opportunity. He goes to Colorado, and he brings them to prominence. Nobody heard about Colorado. People forgot about Colorado. I remember Colorado when it was in the Big 8, the Big 12, But they had left and went to the Big 10 when Nebraska went to the to the Pac-12 when Nebraska went to the Big 10. So that being said, he brought them to prominence. Now, Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, I forget the guy up in Tennessee State. It's a running back, George. Marshall Faulk just got hired at Southern. I mean, look at that. He has to accept that responsibility. Because here's the thing. People do what they want. They're grown. We don't give a damn. We don't care. Right? We don't care. We didn't care that Sherrone cheated. That's not our business. We don't care. But when you get caught, I love when they say that. Oh, other people doing it? Isn't that the trademark of a fool? Other people doing it, so I did it. This is where you get people hooked on gambling, drugs, cheating, all this shit because somebody else did it. So don't blame me because other people doing it. It's called not accepting responsibility. And we have a lack of that. We damn sure gotta. So when you look at this situation, what does Sherrone Moore want? Empathy. He wants people to understand what he's going through. And the people who got caught, they're empathizing with him. But the people who didn't get caught, no, we saying you dumb as hell. You got $6-7 million a year? I don't know a woman, and I know women are valuable and all this other crap. I know that. I don't know a woman or a man worth $6,000-7,000 a year. I don't know any. My mama ain't worth $6 million, $7 million a year. I would, if they told me, look, your mama gonna have to live under the bridge, but we gonna pay you $7 million. I'll be like, sorry, mom. You know what I'm saying? I'll send you some stuff. You know, blankets. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anybody worth $7 million a year. So when you're giving up $7 million a year, what are you getting? See, we want to empathize, but we ain't forcing people to think. We ain't forcing people to think for yourself. That was your mathematical problem. Not ours, not anybody else's. You were supposed to look at that situation and go, I got a wife and 3 kids. I got a nice home. I'm the coach at University of Michigan. I'm making $7 million a year. Yeah, no thanks. No, no. I'm the king. I can do anything I want. Until you can't. So what you want? You want people to come out and be like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. No, nothing happened to you. You did it. You did it. And you know, I really didn't want to make this a rant video about what he did wrong. But young people need to hear the right thing. And that's where I was going with Ryan Clark versus Hushman Zada. And then the others. Those people who went after Ryan Clark for what he said what he was supposed to say. He said exactly what he was supposed to say. These young people out here watching the internet more than you. They're learning from the internet. Hell, that's the new school, the internet. YouTube. So you cannot go out there, even if you know that, you know, real life, it might be a little different. That's not what you teach young people. You teach young people how it's supposed to be. And if they screw it up, that's up to them. But you don't teach them how to screw it up and what it looked like. Now, I'll give you an example. I have a little example of what that's like. So you're going to go down in the swamp. And the swamp is full of alligators, but they're asleep. And you have something you want to get in the swamp. Or maybe you want to cross the swamp. And there's, you know, in order to cross the swamp, you got to go miles left or right to get to a bridge. And you're like, I don't want to do that. All these alligators are in this swamp asleep, right? So you creep down into the swamp and you're very careful as not to move anything. And you go steadily and you get across the swamp. It's all good, right? You live to see another day. You got across the swamp and you good. But if you're crossing that swamp and you sneeze or you fart, you're going to be dinner. You don't get to tell the alligators, hey, other people did this and you didn't do nothing. No, it ain't going to count. You're going to be dinner. And why is that? Because it was stupid when you did it. But if you can do it and get away with it, it's all good. But if you don't, it's all good. That's how life is like. That's how life is. What you do in the dark, that's on you. Nobody really cares. But once you get caught, you gotta take your lumps. People gonna call you dumb, stupid, ignorant. How did you do that? Yeah. You should be saying it too. You should feel that way. You mean tell me you've never done something dumb and didn't say, damn, that was dumb. I wish I'd have done something different. Because if you haven't done that, you don't take responsibility for your actions. Yeah, you ain't gonna be around long. Because you don't think that you do wrong shit and while you're doing them. So again, I really didn't want to make this a rant about this, but there were some things to be said in there because I listened to everybody and I heard a lot of things, but I know some things that wasn't said. And you can bet some of these things in here, they may have been said, but they weren't said in a way. There's different people in the world. Some people get it this way and some people get it that way. So we all should be out here addressing that. Not to beat him down, but to make sure others know this is what you don't do. This is not how you do that. You know, you got to look out for a lot of people when you get that high. You're blessed to be there. You're blessed to be that high. And if you say, well, I earned it. No, you didn't earn it until you're successful at it. Therefore, you didn't earn it. So, you got that blessing and you owe it to your family, the people around you, your community, that school, and everybody that you work with and for to do your best. And keep your personal shit somewhere else. That's all I got to say. Thanks for watching. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.